let's check this. Okay, sorry. Close. There we go. Is this the right channel? Yep, looks like it is. Making sure that everything looks good. And open. Alright, cool. Let's make this smaller. I love setting this up on stream. Doodah, doodah. Where is it? All right, so now that we've got that all done, perhaps we can go to, there we go. There I am. Let's mute that. And mute this. All right, cool. Hi, everyone. I think I've got everything under control. Not doing that one, not doing that one. Okay. Cool. I've got very little. Okay. Hi. Wait, hi. Hi. Yes. So how are y'all doing today? I'm doing well. So today what we are going to do is we are going to go through a couple beers that I had in my closet that I put in the fridge so that we can drink and taste what they taste like after a little bit of aging. Good old H2O. So for a little bit, let's go over a little bit of news, because I haven't done that yet either. Oops, news. Okay. Let's look at these, because I've been curious by these, and here, let's pull this up here. All right. So, best non-alcoholic beers of 2019. I do want to do one of these at some point. So, Athletic Brewing Company's Run Wild non-alcoholic IPA. I think I've seen these around, and this would definitely be something that I would throw on there. So it's a non-alcoholic American beer, uses organic malts to create the ultimate sessionable IPA. Okay, Beck's, Erdinger, I would definitely do that one. Bravus Brewing doesn't have a typical bitterness of your usual IPA, making it approachable even for non-IPA lovers. Brewed in California. Don't know that one either. Caliber, so that's from Guinness. Heavenly Body Golden Wheat. Buckler. Lostaler, Heineken, O'Doul's. Yeah, so it's a lot of big beer and yeah. Meh. Ew. So that was kind of a bust. That's too bad. So here's something that does happen a lot, or not a lot, but enough that. So a Wisconsin brewery recalled. Well, hello, fire truck. How you doing there? All right, so Wisconsin brewery recalled one of their beers because it was at risk for explosion. I've actually had that happen. In fact, some of the beer that we're doing today is going to be stuff that, unfortunately, either its sibling exploded on me, or so that has been a problem. The brewery took to social media to announce that anyone with bottles of the beer should either refrigerate or carefully dispose of them. Well, thank you. You like the concept of fire trucks or our concept? Either way, it's a great concept. I like them both. But yeah, apparently one of the ingredients used in the drink causes pressure to continue to build in the bottle. So yeah, Lakefront Brewery made the announcement on Instagram. The My Turn junk was being recalled. The beer's label identifies it as a kettle sour with cherries and sakura. Apparently, the cherries are responsible for the issue. The post states that wild yeast from the cherries used to brew the may continue to ferment, building up pressure in the bottle. So let me actually show you what happens. This is with cans, but so you can see the bottom of this is rounded out. The top of this has started to kind of expand there. Yeah, it was not good times there. So we're going to try this out. So this is the 2018 Queen of the Mist. Ale brewed with Himalayan pink salt and roasted coriander, aged 6 months in fresh Cabernet barrels. And then this is the Sea Witch, brewed with black Hawaiian lava salt, coriander, and roasted malts, and aged to 10 months in Witherspoon Distillery whiskey barrels. Luckily on this one, the bottom has not rounded out like this one has. Yeah, it's unfortunate. In fact, let's just go ahead and jump into it. Let's do the Queen of the Mist. So because of that, I'm having to hold it upside down. That was the. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong chat here. So that's why it said fire truck. See, I'm looking at the one that actually just says fire truck on it instead of just me looking to see that you posted a fire truck. I'm sorry about it. All right. So, like I was saying, this is the Queen of the Mist. Let me see if I have this up here. So that's what the box looks like. And actually, I can move this. Oops. There we go. So yeah, that's what the box looks like. It's a woman with a veil over her face. And it does tell you it's the barrel-aged Salty Lady, which is, by the way, one of my favorite Goza beers from Martin House Brewing in Fort Worth. And it was fermented on mango. And then, as we also said, it has Himalayan pink salt and roasted coriander. Aged 6 months in fresh Cabernet barrels, and then it was brewed on August 15th, 2017 for release in 2018. And then a wraparound. Who knew the yellow would halfway... But yeah, let's open this up and... I'm kind of scared though. Let's do this on camera. There's an angry one. Oh, and there we go. This is very angry. Trying not to make a mess here. This is so... Oop, 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 oop. Okay. Okay. I've made a mess. I've made a huge mess here. I'll be right back. Oop, oop, oop. Just spilling all over the place here. All right. All right. Got stains on these pants too. I'm just not in a good place right now. This is messy, messy, messy. Oh man. I can see again. All right, so let's make sure none of the electronics are affected by this. Okay, I think we're good here. I think we're good now. Just leave that on the floor, kind of tamp it down. All right, so this has been a very angry beer already. So we'll have to see how this goes. But yeah, so as we have here, angry beer that still has a great color on it. Still has a little bit of a head, or at least some bubbling around the side there. does have a very wine nose to it. What? We could probably move this camera a little bit higher. I don't need me hiding so much. There we go. I like to show me. So as you can see, kind of a golden, almost straw color. You do definitely smell some of that Cabernet in here. And almost a hint of salt. The flavor has kind of left it at this point. Or not the flavor, sorry. The carbonation has definitely left it. It's... yeah, this... The mango is kind of overpowering, but not in a really good way at this point. It's just a very... It's almost like you get dried mango, but then it's very, very dry. Like there's no moisture on it. Almost like you taking one of like those scratch and sniff things and you're like, I'm gonna lick it. Don't ask me why you would do this. Just go with me on this. That you would take a scratch and sniff and lick it. And then you're like, yeah, that kind of tastes like mango, I guess. But it's just very dry. Or it could be said kind of like the Cabernet has kind of taken over. Like the Cabernet dryness has taken over. But not in the way you would want it to. Why is this? Wait, sorry, I'm just looking at one thing here. This is not doing what I wanted to do. Okay, there we go. I think I've got it figured out here. There we go. So yeah, the Queen of the Mist does not hold up. I guess it was something that really should have been done fresh. That does not go to aging whatsoever. And overall, I mean, the nose is there. It smells great on the nose, like something that you really want to drink. And then and then the taste is just, it's gone. So we're gonna pour that one out. Pour it out. It's a loss. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So that's unfortunate. Oh well. So Queen of the Mist, a bust. Let's move on to the next one. Let's do the other one. Why not? So the other one we have is same concept. There we go. So the Sea Witch. It's a whiskey barrel aged black Goza. It's, let's see now, compared to the other one was 5.8% alcohol, 3 IBUs. This one is 6.7% alcohol, so still not very high. 1 IBU, or as they wrote it, I, as you can see right there. It's brewed with black Hawaiian lava salt, coriander, and roasted malts. Aged 10 months in Wetherspoon Distillery whiskey barrels, brewed on January 17th, 2017. So 6 months, 7 months after the Queen of the Mist was. Well, let's see how this one goes. As you can see, this one also raised top. I'm a little worried about this one too, so we'll see how it goes. I'm scared. Okay, well this one did not explode on me, but you can see it's kind of coming out of the top there, or it's wanting to at least. So reminder, this is a Goza, but a black Goza. It's a very dark, a little bit of a head there. Let's see if I can show you over here. Right here, you can kind of see there's a big bubble that kind of created itself. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So this one, no special flavoring other than aged in whiskey barrels, and it's a black Goza. I mean, this one you definitely get some malt. Like some malt on the nose, but like still some saltiness. I mean, it still smells like a Goza, but with some malt to it. So it's interesting. Obviously very dark in the color. Okay. Can't say I'm a huge fan of it. Unfortunately, it is a very, it's a lot of kind of whiskey flavoring to it, almost like whiskey chips in there. So you get some dryness, a little hint of sweetness, I guess you could say. I just don't know if it worked as well as I was hoping it to work. This, yeah, I'm not in love with it. I don't say I'd hate it. It's just not for me. Just a lot drier than I want it to be. Like with a Gose, you want like a little refreshing, like the saltiness is supposed to jump out at you and kind of be there for the electrolytes, to have like a warm day. But yeah, so this was very much a wintry Gose that even during the winter, I don't know if I'd really want this. I'd still rather have my Salty Lady, something light and refreshing with a little citrus to it. This is just overwhelmingly whiskey. Like even like on the flavoring, it's just very. It's like a bourbon barrel stout without too much of that stout. It's just lingering bourbon flavor on the back. So, yeah, unfortunately, not really something I would recommend aging, at least the way I aged it. Maybe I probably did something wrong. So, I'm not saying this isn't a good beer. I'm saying trying it right now, I'm not a huge fan. But let's see, maybe it'll grow on me. Or maybe it needs a little warmth to it. It just needs some loving care. Or something. Well, let's see if there's anything else interesting in here. Yes, beer bottles can spontaneously explode. Awesome. Craft beer tourism booming in Polish capital. A beer named after nuclear testing site Bikini Atoll gets called out for insensitivity. This is a little bit of a follow-up to something we were talking about. So in North Carolina, there is a beer that is made from, where is it from? I think it's from Uinta. Let me just double check here. Oh, it's Wasatch, sorry. So they are brewed in Utah, so they made kind of a fun name. It's called Polygamy Porter. Well, and it's sold all over the country. I mean, it's in 20 plus states. No one said anything about it. North Carolina has had a problem with it and said, sorry, you can't sell it in North Carolina because we have laws against polygamy. Hey, Mesker, how you doing? Hello there. Thank you for the follow. Oh, and hello, Stooges. I did not see you there a second ago. Look at all these people popping in. So as I was saying, it's not what I wanted. It's kind of disappointing, and also to show you the top of it, you can see some of the beers I did today are. Oh, the volume is. Oh, really? Let's see if we can turn that up. Is that any better? Do I need to speak louder, or am I just mumbling my way through this stream and that's why? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm doing this on my own today that. Okay, cool. Maybe I was just mumbling too much. Good. But yeah, so I'm doing a couple beers today that I had a couple beers that did, or one beer that exploded on in storage, and then I went to go look at a couple other beers, and as you can see there, in the packaging, this is how I found it in the closet. So I figured I'd open this up, which is nowhere near as bad as this one right here, which you can see the lip right here is kind of indented up, and the bottom is just completely bowled out. You know what? It might have been. I mean, it's been in not refrigeration, but it's in a it was in a dark closet where there should have been enough cooling from air conditioning. But who knows? Maybe that is very much what happened. So I decided to go through them. The Queen of the Mist was a huge bust. It was not good at all. And again, I'm not saying because of the beer itself. I'm saying because of the aging. Just didn't work out, unfortunately. And then the Sea Witch, it's normally released during wintertime. It's a Goza for wintertime. So it's a black Goza done with volcanic salt, or what was it? Black Hawaiian lava salt, coriander, and roasted malts. And then aged 10 months in Witherspoon Distillery bourbon or whiskey barrels. I was just saying I'm not getting the flavors of Goza that I want from it. It's just, it's more the whiskey flavors are kind of overpowering it, and it's not refreshing at all. It's just very much like whiskey barrel chips is what I tend to get from it. Even though it may not have, it's not even whiskey barrel chips on it. It was aged in whiskey barrels itself. I mean, it's gotten a little bit better as it's been sitting out. Sort of. It always has a little cloying to the back of it. But again, this is kind of my fault. What can you do? But yeah, following up with Wasatch here, they had a polygamy porter, and North Carolina Alcohol Commission said no, polygamy is illegal in North Carolina, so we will not allow this beer to be sold. Hey, Fanatic Cord. And so they tried to appeal it. Wasatch did, and the court said no. You cannot sell it because polygamy is illegal. Therefore, you can either change the name of the beer for the state and submit all new labeling and everything, or you can just not sell it. So they decided not to sell it in North Carolina. How are you doing today, Fanatic Cord 9932? Good. Well, welcome. Yeah, we're sampling right now. Whoops. The Sea Witch from Martin House Brewing, which I'm not. And again, this is aged. Maybe I can get out of the way. It's from 2017. I took it out of storage because it was bowing a little, and so I figured it was about time to go ahead and sample it out. And gotta say, I'm not a big fan. I love the basis of it, the Salty Lady, which is their regular Goza that they do. It's one of my favorite beers of all time. I don't know if it really needed. Can you get some of that juice from down there? Some of the beer? I mean, if you're in Texas, you can. Hmm. Oh. I'd probably say not right now. Yeah, not right now. It's not the time for that. God, mm. I don't know if I'd even say pleasant bitterness. It's a little cloying on the back of it. But I've decided I'm going to at least go through it. Yeah, wouldn't really recommend it for aging. We got it, Fanatic. Calm down, please. If you want to talk about beer, we can do that. Don't really need to do that. So yeah, um, I mean, that's the interesting thing about all of the Martin House like specialty ones is they come in a box. Which let me show you here. This was the box for the Queen of the Mist. It's just a cardboard box, and it comes with two, and then it comes with two cans in it. So they even say in it you can either drink one now and store the other one for later, or you can drink one yourself and share it with a friend. And I think it is a good idea to drink one now, see how it is, and then from there go ahead and maybe store the other one to see how a little bit of time. Chatty Catty partner of me. Oh, she's dead. To me. Cool, Fanatic. So yeah. No, she's not able to make it today. So I get to do this on my own. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the rest of this. I don't really want to do. Ugh. by Fanatic. Sorry. All right, so that was two that just didn't work out, unfortunately. I'm a little disappointed. I was really hoping that despite despite the bowing, that the cans would at least have been fine. I guess, like you're saying, maybe it was the heat. Maybe it was just something else that just didn't work. Oh well, it happens. What do you use for palate cleanser? Beer? I mean, you could use a lighter beer, or in my case, I use water just to clear out the palate a little bit and then move on to the next one. All right. So I believe everything else I have here is going to be newer things. Actually, you know what? Let's do this other one first. Ice cubes, that could work too. So, I'm worried about this one, but see, everything I have these first half beers are just all ones I'm like, I'm kind of worried. It was sitting in there. You know what? I'm not even going to do this one. It's a older it's an older pumpkin ale from Dogfish Head. I'm not sure if it's a year old or if it's 2 years old though. Ooh. I know it. Oh, actually, it'll tell me right here. Bottled on 8/18/18, I think. So it's a year old. We can try it just to say we tried it. Sounds dangerous though. Yeah. I don't know. We'll do a little taste and see how it turns out. Well, this worked out. And wasn't really any fanfare to that. It was kind of like a. Whew. So again, this is the Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale. It is a pumpkin or a brown ale with pumpkin and spices to it. They do actually use pumpkin. If you actually watch any of their documentaries or anything, they do show how they do go to local pumpkin patches, buy a whole lot of pumpkins, and mash them down to make this beer. So right off the bat, you do get some spices, like some nutmeg, cinnamon, clove spices, a little sweetness to it. Interesting. It has a little bit of a bite to it, and I'm thinking that's maybe the brown ale aging a little bit has kind of almost matured itself to not be as sweet as I remember this beer being. I actually have to say I don't hate it. This is the first one that we've pulled out that has not been a complete bust so far. I mean, Sea Witch wasn't complete bust. It was fine for a while, and then it just got a little too cloying. Yeah, it was brewed August of last year. But yeah, you definitely get some good spices on it. It holds up. I'm surprised. I was actually as you saw, I was kind of worried about this one, thinking that maybe it was not going to hold up, it was going to be bad, and we were just going to take one taste and go, "Yep, we're done." But no, this has, and the longer you sip on it, the more it kind of gives you the spices, and the pumpkin itself kind of like reveal itself a little bit more and kind of give you more of a robust flavoring to it. So I'm pleasantly surprised with this one. So if you're going to drink the Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale, it does hold up after a year. So, yay. So did anyone do anything fun this week? Or this weekend? I'm looking at this right here, sorry. It's a... Yeah, it was an article from CNN Travel about the 15 best beer cities around the world. And they say that Portland, Maine, Asheville, North Carolina, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids, yes, I would agree. Because even on Untappd, there's a entire badge just dedicated to that. But you have Bell's, you have Founders, Brewery Vivant, and then other places that I've never heard of, like the Mitten, Brussels, Belgium, which, of course, Tokyo, Japan, interesting, Shanghai, China. Oh yeah, they've got Box and Cat Brewery, which we have spoken about before. Box and Cat is, I believe, a partner of Anheuser-Busch, trying to get into craft beer in China. And then right next door to Box and Cat's Fuxing Lu location is Daga Brew Pub, a 3-story bar featuring 40 odd taps for you to try a wider selection of Chinese beers from popular breweries like Shanghai Love and Shantou. Smaller and more casual, but no less impressive, is the Hop Project, a bar and grilled cheese restaurant. I'm sold right there, with constantly rotating beers on tap. I could have sworn I just read something. Box and Cat Brewery has often collaborates with other Chinese and international breweries to make one-offs like Emperor's Horse's Lychee Pilsner with Jing'e Brewing Company. Interesting. So go to Shanghai, Berlin in Germany, Rome, Italy, Victoria, British Columbia. Interesting. Melbourne, Australia. Cape Town, South Africa. Lisbon, Portugal. Warsaw, Poland. And Tallinn, Estonia. Interesting. Well, that's always good to swim through women like a lifeguard. Actually, I did buy a Hawkins lifeguard jacket today from Target with the actual logo right here. It's all red. So yeah, that would be fun. I don't know if I'll get to wear it or if Goldie will be wearing it instead, because she has said that she will steal it from me. We'll see about that. Let's see. Oh, Goldie, I know. For Texas news, in literally 2 weeks, not only will we be coming back from Galveston at that point, but at that same time, on the 1st of September, is when Beer to Go in Texas happens, where you can actually go to any brewery and buy up to a case of beer and take it home with you. So that's actually really big news. I'm going to try to go to at least a brewery on that Sunday on the way back, theoretically, probably in Houston or so, to celebrate that, because that's going to be amazingly great news. But it may also be very busy, so I don't know if I want to do that. We'll see though. Anheuser-Busch InBev comes out of craft beer acquisition retirement. Yeah, they've actually been very quiet on buying up breweries recently, until this week where they actually ended up buying one. It was, where was it, Pittsburgh? No, it was, where was it? They just bought one. That's right. 2 years ago, it bought Wicked Weed in May 2017, which was its 10th craft brewery takeover. And shortly before that was Karbach from Houston, Texas. Where is it? Back in June, AB InBev announced it was taking over the canned wine maker Babe Wine. It was Ohio. It was Platform Beer Company in Ohio. They were the fastest growing craft brewer back in 2017, apparently. And and so they just bought them out. So they did Babe Wine Company and Platform. Interesting. No, they're hardly the king of beers. They're just beers and wine. I guess they could be the king of wine if they wanted Babe to be. We'll see about that, though. Wine in a can, yeah. That's a very popular thing. I've seen a lot of wineries start doing that. Have a entire line of, like, I remember it being like a new thing back when I was with like selling beer. All of a sudden it started popping up with Underwood was one of the first ones, and there was another one, but Underwood was definitely like one of the first. And then there was also Infinite Monkey Theorem that also would sell in like thin. They kind of looked like these. Like it was like a maybe about half the size though. It was like a shorter can, but just very thin. And they would sell them in 4-packs. But now, I mean, there's like Chateau Saint Michel that's doing it. I want to say I saw Sterling do it, but like bigger names in winery, like main brand names that have started to jump up and do it. Yeah, they're about the size of Bud Light Minis. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so we'll see about that. Hello, Mr. Vetter. How are you today? How goes bringing people dreams? You work on a Sunday? I don't get mail on Sundays, therefore I know you're lying to me. Because mail isn't sent, therefore you don't work. Bam. Lawyered. Okay. So you do. So do you do the Amazon courier thing and also, or is it all in the same? That they still ship them out on Sundays. It's just not the regular mail thing. Okay. Done with that one. I didn't really want more of that. Okay. Interesting. I always wondered about that because they were saying like, oh yeah, well, it's expected to deliver on Sunday, and I'm like, but you said you're sending it by mail. How am I getting it today? And it still shows up, so that's interesting. I'm glad to know that USPS still delivers on Sundays when it comes to Amazon packaging. Okay. Wait, Monday through Saturday when scheduled, and Sunday Amazon when scheduled. Do you still get 2 days off at least? Because I'd hate for you to have to be working. Yeah, no, I got that much, but. So there's still deliveries every single day of the week. Huh. Interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. Ugh, that's gross. Okay, I need to get out of this article. I'm just. It keeps talking about Anheuser-Busch, and there's nothing. Rosé beer is the hot new beer trend, and these are the best ones. Put it as a maybe. Okay, I will talk about this one though. So the big hot thing for this week. I'm going to go. The big hot news beer of this week was this one right here. The Best Made, which is a Texas pickle company, partnered with, again, Martin House. We've been talking a lot about Martin House today. But, yeah, so they released a sour pickle beer. I've had it at their Sour Fest back in June, I believe it was. And I can tell you, it's delicious. They made it specifically for that festival, and it was the first beer at the festival to sell out because it was so delicious. Man, it was good. So they just released it in cans, and around the Austin area, it was flying off the shelves. Where even now people are like, "Oh, can I still get it?" And it's like, nope, it's sold out. Like the place I went to get mine was, they had 2 cases, which is what, 8 6-packs in total. And when I went to go pick it up, because I called them during the day, like right after they got it apparently, on Thursday, I was like, "Hey, did you get this in yet?" And they're like, "I literally just got it in. I haven't even mentioned it to anyone yet." I was like, "Can I put some on hold?" She's like, "Yes." Awesome. But when I went over there, on display, they only had 2 left. People have been buying this stuff like crazy. And in my beer group on Facebook, people have been saying that, "Oh yeah, I bought 2 cases of it, and there was still a little bit left." It's, yeah. Oh, and also, Best Made, the pickle company, is going to be doing a beer pickle with, where is it? There it is. Locals will also be able to try Best Made's new Salty Lady pickles during the event. As part of the collaboration, Best Made is also releasing a new line of pickles inspired by Martin House's Salty Lady beer. The alcohol-free brine for the Salty Lady pickles includes salt, lemon, and coriander. Where can I get my callous dried desert hands on them? Unfortunately, this is something that is only sold in Texas. And obviously, it is also Best Made is a Texas company. I don't think they sell outside of Texas. But I am looking forward to trying that Salty Lady pickles. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. When you taste this beer, you're going to taste pickle juice 100%. And that is very true. It 100% tasted like drinking pickle juice with a little bit of like beer-ish flavor to it. But it was very much like pickle juice. It was so good. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, that's what the cans look like. They look like a jar of pickles on their own, with the Best Made logo on it, which is the little girl with her tongue out going. But yeah, so that's been the hot new beer of this week. What was the other? Oh yeah, and then there was also this one. Thousands descend on toppling Goliath in Decorah for beer release. So, Des Moines, Iowa, so Decorah, Iowa, I guess. Buddy White's girlfriend thinks he's crazy. Tom Kakula's wife thinks he's absolutely nuts. Why? They traveled to Decorah from Louisville, Kentucky, and Northern Illinois, respectively, to each secure 2 bottles of Toppling Goliath Brewing Company's 2019 Morning Delight, an imperial stout brewed with coffee and maple syrup that's considered one of the best beers in the world. Beercation is the right word, said White, whose group stopped at some St. Louis breweries on the way. Saturday's Morning Delight release event was the largest in Toppling Goliath's 10-year history. About 4,000 people traipsed through its new brewery and tap room to spend $100 on two. What the hell? Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. $100 on two 22-ounce bottles of Morning Delight, the commemorative glass, and a small pour of the inky brew. No, that still doesn't make any sense. So you get a glass, a small pour of the beer, and then 2 bottles for $100. Nope, doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, that's out of the way for me. That's going too far. It's delicious. It really is, Kokala said. Toppling Goliath brewed between 8,000 and 10,000 bottles for the event. The brewery's marketing director. To buy the bottles, attendees had to win a ticket lottery, but anyone else could drive in for a taste. $100 for two 22-ounce bottles, a glass, and a pour. So that's $25 per bottle. Okay, that kind of makes sense there. And then $25 for a glass, and then $25 for a pour. That's, I think, where it's getting out of hand. Because you look at like CBS, the Canadian Breakfast Stout from Founders, that was like $24-ish for a bottle of 22 ounce. So that's why I'm saying, like, okay, that's not out of the ordinary, but man, $100 for all that? I like the packaging, though. And imagine going up these stairs and dropping $25 for 22 ounces. So a tall bottle. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a good looking glass, but $100 for those 4 things, and that's what the pour is. So imagine a glass like this, but with a little bit taller, and you're getting like maybe about, let's see now, so it's about here-ish. So I'd say like an 8-ish ounce. So yeah, it's an 8-ounce pour. Huh. Yeah, there's $200 right there per person. Yeah, same with me. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, the 2 bottles for $50. For some reason in my mind, that's not outrageous. For something that's like that rare, okay, cool, whatever. I guess I can justify it to myself. It's the other $50 that you're spending that has me like, no, that's a little too much. Hello, Napping Monkey. Welcome back from vacation. It's a nice brewery, though. Yep, there's people verifying, like, yep, I got my ticket. I verified. They had all the beers ready to go in the glasses. I guess that's the food you can buy. It was doing well. How are you doing? Look at that, just all those porta potties there. And cornhole. And people buying stuff. Huh. I kind of figured you had. So you went from classic to napping. Especially when you knew my first name. That was kind of the clincher for me. But no, I'm glad you're back. It's been a while. I was actually wondering about you. I was like, I haven't seen her in a while. So welcome back. I'm glad you woke up from your nap. So yeah, pumpkin ale, not bad after a year. I don't really want more of it though. That was probably the clincher for me there. All right. So what else we get? What can I talk? Oh, so last Tuesday. On Tuesdays, what I tend to do is I go from work to the local movie theater. Well, local. It's a Regal movie theater because they have half price popcorn on those days. So I kind of like to go out and do that. My choices on that this past Tuesday were where were they? They were The Lion King, which I've been told don't bother going to see it in theaters. Like, it looks pretty, but it's not worth doing. So I skipped on that. There was another movie I was kind of on the fence on, but I was kind of like, I don't really. And then the last movie was the Dora the Explorer movie, the Dora and the Lost City of Gold. I've been reading reviews on it. It's actually getting really good reviews. Oh, I know what the other movie. It was The Kitchen. It's based on a DC Comics graphic novel about, and it's got Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish, and damn it, what's her name? The girl from Mad Men. Not the girl, but the main secretary, Elizabeth Moss. And it's basically like mob wives in the 70s whose husbands go to jail, and so they take over their business, and the mob is like, you can't do that, you're women, ha 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 ha. And they're like, oh yeah, we're badass women in the 70s, and we're gonna beat you at the drug game. And then they do, and things happen, because then the mob's like, no, you can't do this. But anyhow, it's got terrible reviews, so I decided not to do that. One review was actually saying, like, some people think that being a director just means like pointing a camera at something and just filming. Based on this, some people just should not be a director. And this is a movie that proves that. I was like, ooh, ouch. That's kind of cold-blooded there. But yeah, so I went to go see the Dora the Explorer movie by myself. And I've got to say, wait, where did I go? Guys, why did you not tell me I disappeared here? Oh, there I am. Weird. Huh. Been gone this whole time and nobody told me anything. I pulled a Houdini, yeah. But yeah, I've got to say, the Dora movie is surprisingly really good. I hate admitting that, but the very beginning of it is very much like starting off like, oh, it's going to be a movie version of the cartoon. It's Dora and Diego as kids, like going on adventures with him with his Jaguar, her with Boots, and she's talking to things, and she's like, "This is a poisonous tree frog dart. Can you say poisonous tree frog?" And no one responds back, but whatever. Or like she's at dinner and she goes, "Es muy delicioso. Can you say delicioso?" And looks straight at the camera. But then at that point, her parents are like, "Who are you talking to? There's no one there." But then the story goes on that she gets sent. Like Diego has to move away to the big city, meaning Los Angeles, and a little bit later on, because of her shenanigans of going exploring on her own, her parents get worried, and so they send her to live with Diego and his family in the big city. They never actually say Los Angeles one time, except for on maps. On maps, it clearly says Los Angeles, but every time they call it the big city. And the high school she goes to is Silver Lake High School, which means that she's going to the hipster part of the high schools. Cool, whatever, that's fine, whatever. But then the movie is very self-aware of like, some people are not going to be wanting to watch this because they're not Dora the Explorer fans, like myself. But they enjoy the fact that the movie is very self-aware about all the things that happen in the show, that when they do it, people are like, "Why are you doing this?" Or how she sings all the time, and people are like, "Why are you singing?" And she's like, "Everything's better when you sing." And they're like, "No, it's not." And then they find out, yes, it is. But I would actually say it's even better than Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Like, it's well written. The adventuring part is surprisingly good. It is very, I'd say, cartoony kiddish, but it's more geared towards like family appropriate, where like nothing is going to be out of, like an adult can enjoy it and it will be very reminiscent of Indiana Jones, but without like a non-kid friendly part to it. And yeah, I would actually surprisingly recommend it, especially for half-price popcorn. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to see this Tuesday though, or if I'm going to see anything. Except for, basically, what I do is like on Tuesday afternoon, during my break, I'll take a look at what's playing at the movie theater, what works for the time period that I need it, because I need it anywhere from like 6:45 to like 7:30 is like the ideal time, so I get out and everything's good. And if there's not a movie I want to see, I don't force myself to go see it. I always do it if I'm curious about something, I'll go see it. Usually if it's a kids movie, I will wait a while to go see it, because otherwise you have to deal with a lot of kids. I rolled the dice on this one, and it actually, for the most part, worked out for me, except the fact that there was a person a couple seats over from me that kept going on her phone and didn't lower the brightness, so it was very bright when she was sitting there texting, but she did turn off the sound, so at least it wasn't like bloop bloop every time she got a message or anything. Alright, next one. Let's do... I was curious about this one, so we'll do this one next. So this one is 903 Brewers out of Sherman, Texas. It's their cookies and cream cake stout. That is a very long time. Munich's a great movie, and is on my my movie. What do I call it? It's my movie festival of Jews kicking ass. So Inglourious Bastards, Munich, the end. No, there's The Debt, I think it's called. Yeah, it's been a while then. Wow. But yeah, so 903 Cookies and Cream Cake Stout. It's a stout aged on chocolate and vanilla beans. And it says, down with the patriarchy. Yeah, see? Patriarchy. Cookies and Cream Cake Stout. And this one will not explode on me, which is always appreciated. So nice dark. I mean, you definitely cannot see through that. That is definitely a nice dark stout for the middle of summer, which is perfect because it's nice and cool. I mean, it's only 100 and something degrees outside. Yeah. Oh man. The nose on this is delicious. It's very cake-like. Yeah. It definitely smells like cookies and cream cake. Hold on one second. I want to. Come in. Okay, anyhow, sorry. I just wanted Goldie to smell this. That smells like chocolate cake. Let's look for. Let's see. Where is? I just need to check on that. Cool. Nobody there. Yeah, so anyhow, sorry about that, everyone. It's, man, the nose on this is just delicious. So the flavor, on the other hand, is a little less so, unfortunately. So you get a lot of, on the front, like obviously on the nose, it was very like cookies and cream stout or a chocolate cake. You definitely get chocolate and I guess like vanilla bean, but it's more the flavoring. It's like when someone puts like a flavoring in it, and not so much like. I guess what I was really hoping for is like someone took a chocolate or a like a chocolate cake or a cookies and cream cake, and I know this isn't how you really make it, and just like beat it into the actual beer to get the flavoring. This is more trying to get it artificially wise, and it doesn't work out as well as I was really hoping it to. Does it say when it was? Yeah, it just says keep cold. So this is dedicated to our friends at Mom's Bakery, which I'm guessing is a bakery in Sherman, Texas. I mean, the nose is so delicious. It's kind of makes me sad that the beer itself is not as good. But that's why I bought a single and not a full pack of it, is because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. And this one did not come out the way we were hoping it to. Ew, well. That's okay, though. There's other things we can do. So does anyone have any plans for the rest of today? I just want to sniff this. I mean, I'd rather do that than drink it at this point. Because it's like, oh man, delicious. And then you drink it and you're like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. Chocolate beer that we had. Trying to remember what beer that was. Are you talking about the peanut butter beer? Because that is a little bit of a problem. Okay, the peanut butter beer. Yeah, that one is only in California. It's from Belching Beaver. Although there was a Mexican chocolate version of that too. And I think we had both versions. We had the Mexican chocolate and also the regular peanut butter one. Yeah, no, they were both delicious. But that's Belching Beaver out of San Diego. And yeah, they are well known for their peanut butter stout, and then they do a Mexican, I think it's a Mexican hot chocolate peanut butter stout as well. Both in the same line. Let me see if I can pull it up actually. Oh yeah, and they also do a Deftones beer right now too. What in the world did... So yeah, there's the Deftones one. It's the Phantom Bride, which is an IPA named after the ethereal song by the one and only Deftones. Phantom Bride IPA is a blend of Amarillo, Citra, Simcoe, and Mosaic hops. A truly original Deftones Belching Beaver collaboration envisioned by Chino Moreno and skillfully crafted by Thomas Peters. Sit back, put on your headphones, and drink away. Yeah, exactly. Miso Honey Blonde. Hop Highway. There it is. Peanut Butter Milk Stout. And then the Mexican Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout, where he wears a sombrero and is shaking maracas. Oh, and they do it year round now. I remember when I was getting it, it was seasonal. Oh, and they also do a nitro version of the peanut butter milk stout. Yum. Let's see. Digital Bath. Buenos Tiempos. Tooth and Tail. Tastes like space. Loaded with chocolate asteroids, caramel comets, and is dark like the black of space. Peach be with you. It's an easy drinking pale ale brewed for our fall release. Ooh, a peanut butter latte. But yeah, so Belching Beaver, they have a couple stores, or a couple locations too. I tried reaching out to them when the last time I was in San Diego, because they have one in North Park, which would have worked. Ocean Beach. They have their Pub 918 in Vista, which is up north, and then their Tavern and Grill also in Vista. I like this one though. He's wearing the beanie. But yeah, so that's Belching Beaver for you. Hello, Day One. How you doing? Okay, let's click that, and it's gone. You're doing chill. I like that. I was hoping warming this up would actually make the beer better. So right now, again, we're on the 903 Brewers Cookies and Cream Cake Stout. And yeah, fortunately, it's just not doing what I needed it to do. It's been a lot of disappointments today, as far as beer wise. You're the best chiller. You just sit down in a chair and you're like, oh yeah. That's why I'm chilling. I don't know why. Well, congratulations on reaching Hop Nerd. I still don't know what the ranks are, but I made them one day and I completely forgot what they were. You're so chill, you're dead. So yeah, what else did I have to say? So Dora. I think the week before that I went to go see Hobbs and Shaw, or The Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, or Hobbs and Shaw, or as I kept calling it to people, Calvin and Hobbes, the movie. And they're like, what? There's a Calvin and Hobbes movie? I'm like, no, it's The Fast and the Furious presents Calvin and Hobbes, or whatever it is. It wasn't bad. I mean, I was looking for like a... I don't want to say brainless, but I was just looking for like an action movie that I could just sit down, watch it, not have to think. There was nobody in the theater. I mean, there was like maybe 5 people in the theater the whole time. Do I put any products in my beard? I do. I put beard oil, and also in the shower I do have a beard scrub. And yeah, that's really all I put in it. I haven't put anything in it today, and it kind of looks kind of bristly. Doesn't look the way I like it to look. In fact, it's getting very tangled right now. It's no good. I'm just gonna start playing with it now. Maybe that'll release the oils to soothe it. Last week. Did you get Christmas beard oil? It's like, it smells like Christmas. No, I did buy a new one too. Maybe I should try that one out too, with argan oil. It was like $3 at not Michael's, at Marshall's. Oh, okay. There's nothing wrong with free beard oil as long as it actually like works for what it should be doing, which is soothing the beard and also the skin at the bottom, at the base of it. There's no problem with that, even if you smell like a Christmas tree. I just don't like the ones that smell like coconut, or it's got to be a very distinct smell to me. Because if I'm going to put it and it's going to be sitting there all day, I need it to be something I want to smell, and not like wafting of like sewer garbage or something like that. I'm not saying that that is a beard oil smell. It could be. But that's not something you want to have, is, my beard smells like sewer garbage. I like doing that too. Gosh. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm going crazy. So you like alien movies? I'm trying to think of the last time I saw an alien style movie. I did see Bumblebee. Technically that is an alien movie. The prequel Transformers movie. I like movies, yes. If it has not been made painfully clear by the movie references we put in the stream and things like that. Oh, good. My the Twitter handle is not correct. See, I never saw Prometheus. And in fact, I've only seen, let's say I saw Aliens 1, or Aliens, Alien 3, Resurrection, and then I stopped there. So I never saw Prometheus. Um, yeah. Because I don't know. Like, I was kind of curious to see it. And at Comic Con, they did have people dressed up like whatever those big blue or white creature people things were. So that was weird, but I heard that it was good, yeah. And I did do they had a thing on the floor at Comic Con for Calvinant. It was like you go into this room and like they try to scare you, like you hear the aliens running around you. I don't know. I just need to watch it sometime. It's not something I go out of my way to watch, though. I should. I really should. Especially when I hear that they're good. But I'm also a big weenie and don't really watch a lot of horror movies. Unless it's a controlled environment that I feel comfortable in, that I can do it. I'm a big weenie when it comes to horror movies. All right. Let's see now. What else do I have in here? Well, hello there. Well, goodbye then. Let's do this one. Hold on, let me go close the door again. You're gonna come in this time? Realizing there's nothing better out there? Whoa, 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 come here. Hey, come here. If you're gonna come in, oh, and now we get the menagerie. Yes. Hi, buddy. You want to just sit on my lap? Cool. That's cattail for hello. Okay, so next one we'll do is... Man, I'm realizing everything except for the Dogfish Head today has been Texas beers. So today, or this next one... Right. Are you in or out? Just come in here. No? Alright, cool. The cats like to come in here and then decide, like, take a couple steps in, they're like, yeah, you know what? I don't really feel like going in there anymore. Yeah, I'm talking about you too. The sleepy kitty that just decided he was going to come in here and just lay down, yeah, fall asleep. All right, so the next one we've got is right here. It is the Slippin' Into Darkness. It's a coffee, cocoa nibs, and hazelnut Russian Imperial Stout from Brazos Valley Brewing. Brazos Valley is in a little town called Brenham, which is also famous because it is the birthplace of Bluebell ice cream. So they have two things going for themselves. They have Brazos Valley, And they also have Bluebell. And on the back it even tells you their patio is open in Brenham on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It's an hour drive from Austin, a 40-minute drive from College Station, and a 1-hour drive from Houston. I didn't realize it was that far away from College Station. I thought it would have been closer. Because everyone has an opinion, right? How far do you actually think it takes to get from Brenham to College Station? And go. Alright, so most everything we've had today has been kind of a bust. Let's see if this continues that trend. So again, very inky dark. Definitely get chocolate and hazelnut on the nose. I don't think so. I've never known them to make ice cream sandwiches. They're the ones that, well, according to them, or the old commercials, it's the best ice cream in the country. They are also the ones that had a huge listeria scare a couple years back when the bacterial listeria was found in their Brenham location. And so they had to shut down all ice cream and basically recall it. But other than that, they do really good ice cream. Okay, this is much better. Yeah, they don't do Mississippi Mud Pies. Maybe you were thinking of Blue Bunny. Blue Bunny does do ice cream sandwiches and frozen novelty treats and just regular ice cream. Where you go? So yeah, this one, a lot of chocolate, a lot of hazelnut on the nose. You almost do get like the sweetness on the nose. And then it's very stout chocolate, kind of coffee. You do get some of that hazelnut still on the flavor as well, but it's a nice, big, bold flavor. Still some sweetness too, so it's very balanced. And the cat has decided to go to the door. He's either going to play with another cat on the other side of the door, or he's going to try to break out. But yeah, this is a good one. So what do they say on the back of it? This variant of Slippin' Into Darkness Russian Imperial Stout uses hazelnut in addition to cocoa nibs and jet fuel coffee from Independence Coffee Company for a flavor that will push your mind further beyond the dreams. Texas made, Brenham brewed. This one is also 10.5% alcohol. So it is definitely a higher brewed beer. It's 45 IBUs, 40 SRM. It's a good one though. I like this. So again, it's this one right here, the Slippin' Into Darkness Coffee Cocoa Nibs and Hazelnut Russian Imperial Stout. Yeah, exactly. That is definitely where the name is kind of coming from, because you're just drinking this and the 10.5 slowly slips by and you're like, I'm slipping into darkness now. Yeah. So good though. Let's see now. So here is when you do this. Okay. So a 5,000-year-old beer recipe brewed at the British Museum was absolutely delicious. Brewer Michaela Charles, food historian Tasha Marks, and beer expert Susan Boyle, no relation, recently teamed up with the British Museum to recreate a 5,000-year-old beer recipe from ancient Egypt. Using clay vessels and methodology from the period, the group brewed several iterations, one unflavored, and others including ingredients such as pistachio, rose petal, cumin, coriander, and sesame. The result was beer similar to that which would have been brewed during the building of the pyramids of Giza. The recipe included 2-stage mash, a cold mash, and hot mash, then a 2-day fermentation. I expected a thick, tasteless gruel-like mixture that was mildly alcoholic, but to all our surprise, it didn't just work, but it was absolutely delicious, Marks, the food historian, said. Charles, who is the head brewer at Alpha Beta Brewery in London, used the hymn to Ninkasi as inspiration. What is this? Beer is sacred, it's been central to blah, 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 blah. All right. Much of what we know about beer's ancient history traces back to the hymn to Ninkasi, a 5,000 years, ode to brewing etched into clay tablets found in modern-day Iraq. The hymn to Ninkasi dates back to the 18th century BC. As legend has it, the hymn links 2 Sumerian drinking songs that describe the process of making beer and praise Ninkasi for bringing a blissful mood and happy liver to the Sumerian people. Of course, historically inclined beer nerds will already have heard of Ninkasi, the ancient Sumerian goddess of beer. After all, there's a brewery named after her. True. A famous portrait of her hangs in Founders Brewing, and countless interpretations of her image exist in breweries and beer stores across the country. I actually did not know that it was named after the Sumerian god of beer, or goddess of beer. I actually thought the person that started Ninkasi beer was actually named like Roger Ninkasi or something. Ninkasi is not only the goddess of beer and brewing, but of fertility, harvest, drunkenness, seduction, and war, which, I mean, most of these are kind of interchangeable. The mother of all creation, she brought life, grain, and beer to earth, and more beer to the heavens. Here we've illustrated her legacy with a printable infographic. Interesting. So, yeah, this is the Hymn to Nukasi. I'm not gonna sing it though. But yeah, so they used that as the inspiration for the beer, which is very, very interesting. I would love to try this. Like, it's stuff like that that just sounds like really interesting. That would be really, really cool to try out. Oops. All right. We've done this one before. We asked 20 brewers what are the worst trends in beer right now. Oh. So at looks like a Washington Nationals game, a safety net saves fan, but not beer. Screw it, let's look at that. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's go to the camera. Let me move the. So he fouls the ball, and he goes straight for the guy. Oh no, that's a woman. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's jumping straight at them, but since there's a safety net right there, it hits the safety net. But she's so scared that she throws the beer, thinking it's going to hit her. Because yeah, she's got really close seats. Wow. And I wonder. Yeah, right. It's better. Actually, Vetter, you can answer the question that just came to my mind. Okay, so in this case, he hits the foul. It bounces off the net. Yeah, just wasted a $14 beer. No kidding. If the catcher were to have caught the ball, would that have counted as an out? Or because it hit the... No? Okay. I was just curious by that, since it hits and then jumps up, if maybe that counted. But that's probably why he's like, nah, not worth catching. Okay. That makes sense. Because then, even if it were to like roll down, you could just sit there and catch it. But that does make sense. I was just wondering if maybe it was something active he could have done, like, oh, it's an out. But yeah, no, that is unfortunate for the beer. Because you can even see the people around her, like, especially, let's see if you can. Yeah, the woman here in the striped white, she's just embarrassed she's like, oh, jeez, this woman, she just can't handle herself. While this one here is like, oh my, she's full of beer now. But it's really like these two that are like, son of a bitch, we're now wet because you can't handle your shit. And then you have these two that, oh no, sorry. She's shocked. She's like, "Oh, beer spilled." And he makes no gestures whatsoever. He's like, "Well, sucks to be you." The top of the second inning at Tuesday's Reds Nationals, the rookie sensation Aristides Aquino took a mighty cut at a high Joe Ross fastball and scalded it straight back into the backstop net. Net caught the ball, which was good for the Nationals fans seated in the third row, who otherwise would have taken Aquino's foul shot to the stomach. News was less good for her beer and her t-shirt, both of which paid dearly for her jumpy reflexes. Huh. Well, that's good to know, though. Alright, let's turn off the news again. And I'm going to sit here and enjoy this beer and talk to y'all. Texas Beer to Go and alcohol delivery starts in September. Well, I mean, I didn't know it also included alcohol delivery. I do need to learn more about what's going on with that. Ooh. We talked about this already. Pickle beer in Texas, which I did buy some, and I'm very excited for. If you're willing to drink this subpar beer, you might get free rent for the year. Let's see what they have to say. Miller's Coors has announced it is willing to pay the rent of 13 people for a year if they start drinking its Keystone Light brand of beer. There you go, Stooges. Specifically, the beer company is looking to rope in young adults to their Keystone brand right as they come of drinking age, the company says in a blog post. Our research shows that if consumers choose beer at 21, they're more likely to stick with beer throughout their lifetime. Miller Coors also knows that most 21-year-olds are broke, which Wolf says these consumers are craving financial stability, and we know from our research that housing expenses create a strain, eating up a large portion of their income. With our free rent program, we're hoping to ease part of the burden to enable them to enjoy the fun things in life, like having a cold beer and celebrating with friends. Hence the free rent sweepstakes. Anyone over the age of 21 can enter via Snapchat by snapping the code found on various Keystone displays, which will take them to a website where they can enter a code word, such as Cheers, found on those displays. 13 grand prize winners will each receive $12,000, which is what Miller Coors is saying a year's worth of rent normally costs a young person. So basically they're going to give you $12,000. So the lesson here is if you want free rent, get drinking. Just be careful because you know what else can eat up a large amount of your money besides rent, guzzling tons of beer. Okay, so it doesn't... What it sounds like is you don't really have to drink the beer. You just have to find the display and they'll give you $12,000 possibly. So, yeah, that's not terrible. Because at least in this article, it doesn't say you have to drink said beer. You just have to find the display, put the keyword in on Snapchat, and there you go. Hold on a second. be annoying. Be annoying here. No, you're staying here. Because you're being annoying. All right. All right, there we go. So now we've got Oh. Sneeze. Just waiting for this little guy to give up here. All right, anyhow, sorry. What is this? Hold on here. Okay. Blue Point Brewing Company's new bubblegum beer has a Garbage Pail Kids twist. So it's called Bubble Brain. Wait, is it supposed to taste like Double Bubble? Wow. So then it's a beer that when you first sip it, it's going to be very bubblegummy, and then within 2 seconds, it'll lose all flavor whatsoever. That's awesome. Crave the taste of 1980s nostalgia? Long Island Blue Point Brewing Company's new bubblegum flavored IPA, Bubble Brain, smells like Bazooka Joe, but tastes even more like a less sweet, fruity brew. With a tart and bitter finish, even though those who aren't keen on IPAs might like it, as the deep rose-hued drink looks like it's like wine and doesn't taste as hoppy as some IPAs and pale ales. To give the beer an added throwback, Blue Point and Anheuser-Busch InBev Company tapped Garbage Pail Kids illustrator Brent Engstrom to design the label, which features a rendering of Blue Point's brewmaster Mike Stoney Stoneberg, who came up with the beer. It's a small batch bubblegum beer driven by fruit, spices, and yeast. It's all inspired by a visit to a dusty novelty store on the west side of town and finding a bit of lost nostalgia in 80s youth. All right. So interesting. What else we got? What else we got? Wisconsin's coolest diner in the middle of a forest is now serving craft beer and jerk chicken out of shipping containers. Oh wait, it was a Texas-based beer company receives backlash for drink named after nuclear test site in Pacific. Okay, what company was this? It's Manhattan Project Beer Company. Okay, so it's out of Dallas. they named a beer Bikini Atoll. So all of the stuff that we've been seeing is all for Dallas. So the Dallas-based company has several beers with nuclear names, including Half-Life, Plutonium 239, Particles Collide, and 10 nanoseconds. USA Today also reported that Jack Niedenthal, the Health and Human Services Secretary for the Republic of the Marshall Islands, condemned the beer's name in a letter to the company's co-founder. The bottom line is your product makes fun of a horrific situation here in the Marshall Islands, a situation that I promise you is still ongoing to make money for your company. This is unacceptable to us. A Change.org petition with 2,600 signatures as of Thursday, August 15th, urges Whole Foods to stop selling the beer. What do y'all think about this? It's one of those things that I guess I'm just so out of the loop on it that I wouldn't know. I don't really have an opinion on it, honestly. Yes, there was nuclear testing, and I mean, it did damage a lot of environment around there. We want to help the Manhattan Beer Project, or beer company, sell more beer. As Pacific Islanders, we love beer. Nothing goes better with island barbecue than beer. But it is bad form for a company called the Manhattan Project Beer Company to sell a product named after Bikini Atoll. Nuclear testing is not something to joke about for a Pacific Island. I don't think but they're not joking about it. They're naming it because everything they have, like all their beers, are named after things of that idea. So the Manhattan Project being the testing and creation of the atom bomb, and then the hydrogen bomb, which they did originally test in the Bikini Atoll. So the United States, France, and the United Kingdom have used our islands and our families as test subjects. Nuclear testing only stopped in 1996, the same year I graduated from high school, while the Marshall Islands, Kiribati, and French Polynesia will forever live under the cloud of a nuclear legacy. Military colonialism continues unabated in places like the Northern Mariana Islands and Guam. Yeah, so based on this, it does seem like something that is kind of still very hurtful to them, but I don't feel like they're making fun of anything with the name. They're just, it would be the same as calling it, I'm trying to think of Area 51 or Alamogordo. It's all places that testing and creation was done in. So between 1946 and 1958, the United States detonated 67 atmospheric nuclear bomb tests on the Northern Marshalls, including the Mike Shot, the first thermonuclear bomb test on Uinta Atoll, according to the Central Arkansas Library Systems Encyclopedia of Arkansas. Okay. Islanders living in test areas had been relocated, while communities downwind from other tests were exposed to deadly radioactive ash. After nuclear testing made much of the Marshall Islands unlivable, a treaty in the 1980s allowed Marshall Islanders to travel and work in the U.S. without having a visa. Many settled in Springdale because of opportunities with Tyson Foods. Today, about 1,500 live in the region, the second largest concentration of Marshallese in the U.S. Since the 1980s, when the Marshall Islands became a sovereign state with the U.S. under the Compact of Free Association, COFA, in 1986, thousands of Marshallese have legally migrated to North America. The COFA is up for renewal in 2023. To me and a lot of other Marshallese, it's exploitation colonialism. says Manhattan Beer Project, Bikini Atoll beer is nothing new but very disappointing. The company says that they're trying to raise awareness, but says that there's nothing on their website to support that. And says even decades later, many in the Marshall Islands are still having health consequences from nuclear testing. So maybe if they were to set up a fund based on this, like, hey, we're still going to sell this beer, but like 10%, 5%, 3% of like raised funds for this beer will go to like some sort of fund, like a scholarship or something for people living in the area. So the beer company did post a Instagram. Our beer named Bikini Atoll was not created to mock or trivialize the nuclear testing that took place in the Marshall Islands, though our brand and naming, we are creating awareness of the wider impacts and implications of the United States' nuclear research programs and the pivotal moment in world history that is often forgotten. We are sharing this because we have received significant harassment and death threats. This is the only statement we will make, and we will take no further action in this matter. What do y'all think? I mean, I would say not once am I thinking that this was exploitation in the least bit. They've always had beers that are named after nuclear testing things, like items. I just, to me, it's not. I mean, yeah, I don't feel like it's justified. If you name it after any city, like, I don't know, like, because it's not like they're saying like, oh, this is like the goofy like Bikini Atoll. No, they're raising awareness of like, hey, by the way, this is something that no one really talks about, but it's a thing. It happened. It was there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going off on this because I just really don't agree with it. I don't feel like there's any commercialization or exploiting. Though at the same time, I do feel like if they were to set up some form of trust or some kind of donation, I don't know. I mean, that would be raising more awareness for it too. Like, hey, our beer is raising awareness because the Marshall Islands were devastated by nuclear fallout from constant testing back in the 40s, 50s. Stop. Yeah, come here then. Come hang out with us. So yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with it. Ask Kate about beer. When and why did breweries stop using pop-top cans? I mean, technically there are some breweries that still use pop-top cans, but that's about to end because the company that created those pop-top cans went out of business, and so they can't get them anymore. Beer festival bans offerings with sexist names, inappropriate labels. Stop. Yes. You can sneeze all you want. I don't care. Yeah. Okay, I take it back. Stop sneezing. Now, it's a popular beer festival in the UK is trying to encourage more female beer drinkers, and they're attempting to do so by eliminating sexist beer names from their stock. The Great British Beer Festival, which started August 6th and will run until Saturday, August 10th, wow, will no longer allow beer companies to bring in merchandise that disparages women with sexist names. Of the beers that have been banned by the festival's organization or organizers in the campaign for real ale are Dizzy Blonde, Slack Alice, which is described as a little tart, Leg Spreader, and Village Bike. Okay. The first two I don't feel are bad. The second two, sure, Leg Spreader and Village Bike. The ban also includes inappropriate designs of women on the beer labels themselves. I don't feel like that's disparaging. Hey, Maroon, how you doing? You like those names? I mean, yes, Leg Spreader and Village Bike, those are very disparaging. But the other two, Dizzy Blonde and Slack Alice, they don't sound bad. And especially when you're saying, like, oh, Slack Alice, she's a little tart. Oh, I guess, like, tart is like, whatever. I guess. Yeah, okay. The festival, which will have a selection of about 1,000 beers, ciders, and perries, which is a hard cider made from pears, in case you were not aware, says it is taking aim at the crude innuendos after a survey showed 68% of women would not purchase beer that appeared to be sexist. Yeah, here's a photo of one called Psychotic Blonde. Sophie Atherson, a beer sommelier, told The Guardian she appreciated Canberra's gesture, but she's still anticipating backlash from beer fans. I'm sure there will be the usual backlash about women having no sense of humor and how it's all a bit of fun, but that's rubbish, she said, calling the offending beers misogynistic. Women have as much right to enjoy beer in peace as men do. It's true. Yeah, but who buys more beer, men or women? I would say technically probably women, because if you're thinking in terms of, like, a lot of times in, like, a stereotypical situation, the women are going to go to the grocery store. They're the ones that, while they're there, are going to buy said beer for their husbands if they're not the beer drinkers. And so, yeah, women technically would be the one buying the beer. I mean, it's not for them, but they're the ones buying it. In other situations where women are buying beer for themselves, no, I mean, I fully get it. I mean, it would definitely, to drink, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, even I feel like weird if I'm drinking like a beer that is like very misogynistic or something. Stop it, both of you. I mean, how the number of men versus women going to breweries or buying beer, yes, definitely men outweigh that. But that being said, that is what the trend is trying to be right now, is trying to change that up so that women feel more welcome to come and drink and do all the same as men, so that there's not a thing where it's like, oh yeah, well, men are the ones that are going to drink, therefore, or are the ones that drink beer, so who cares about women? Well, maybe it's because they don't feel welcome to. I mean, do you really feel like... I mean, let's say there's something that's like anti-Latino, anti-black, anti-anything. You're not going to feel welcome drinking that beer. I mean, if it's a racist thing, yeah. Why would you want to drink it then? It's not fair because you're not going to feel welcome to drink said thing. I guess, yeah. So yeah, let's not do misogynistic or racist beers, and everything will be fine. Okay. Sorry. Here's another follow-up. Guns N' Roses settles trademark dispute with Guns N' Rosé craft beer. So what we were talking about was Oscar Blues has a beer out there called Guns N' Rosé. The band filed a federal lawsuit in May in California against Canarchy, also known as Oscar Blues, after its management team realized the brewery was not only selling Guns N' Rosé named beer, but also filing to trademark the name. The Rosé Ale is described as being crisp AF. When Guns N' Roses learned Canarchy attempted to trademark the name in 2018, the band objected and demanded that it retract the application. When the beer company failed to do so, they filed a federal lawsuit for using the Guns N' Roses name and prestige without the group's approval. Blah, 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 blah. Talking about when they started. According to the 23-page complaint, the band has also successfully licensed the Guns N' Roses name over the years to sell clothing, bandanas, wine glasses, pint glasses, and other merchandise. After negotiations, Guns N' Roses reached an agreement with the brewery on July 31st to settle claims and dismiss the lawsuit. The terms of the settlement agreement are confidential. Attorneys for Guns N' Roses or Canarchy did not reply to Billboard's request for comment. So, yeah. So basically, it's been settled. We just don't know how it was settled. Maybe that means that they didn't win and they just don't want to lose face. Or it was just that they are getting like a, oh, we're sorry, here's some money type situation, which is probably more the, it's like, here's $10,000, just go away. All right. I'm going to sneeze and then I'm going to talk. Sorry. Ooh. Yum. Okay, so Oliver Ingham, is that right? And Turtle Mania. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. We definitely appreciate the follows. And cheers to you with my little bit of... Here, just for the sake of... put a little bit in there. Cheers to you. Thank you for all the follows. Indeed. So anyhow, I was going to say, it's around that time, so I'm going to leave y'all for this week. I I should be back next week, so we will see you there. And have a good afternoon and a good week. Thank you all for joining me. I'm going to host well, let's actually look up who's on right now so we can host. Who's on to host? Let's. Interesting. You know what? Let's go to. What's the live stream about? So we do beer tasting and beer discussions every week, starting at 1 p.m. Central. And yeah, today I was just doing some beers that I had in my closet in that some needed to go, and so we were just clearing out a couple of them here. So we did the Queen of the Mist here. As you can see, the bottom kind of rounded out there, and you can see a little right there. It's lifted up. The Sea Witch, which definitely there you can see the top is has gone. We did the 903 Cookies and Cream Cake Stout, which great nose, not so much on the flavoring though, unfortunately. The Pumpkin Ale from last year from Dogfish Head, which that one was good. I enjoyed that one. And then we finished it off with the Slippin' Into Darkness special version with coffee, cocoa nibs, and hazelnut. It's a Russian Imperial Stout. And that one was quite good. But yeah, join us next week. We will be back. And have a good week. I'm going to leave y'all, and we're going to host up Egghead Man, who's doing some GTA role-playing with possibly Bear from Goldilocks and the Bear. So I will see y'all next week. Bye.